thanks for joining me on Building Bridges. So I'm waiting for my guest, Lily Forrester. Did you guys see that new intro? How was it? What do you think? Was it, did you see it? Did I do it right? I don't know if it came through correctly or not. So let me know in the comments. Another question that I have for you is, how is my audio? Because a few people were saying that my lighting and everything was good from the last stream, but then my audio was terrible. So I moved my mic over out of the windowsill, and I'm hoping that that was an improvement. Let me know. Okay, yeah. Audio's good? Awesome. And Sandy, thank you. Thank you for watching and letting me know that the intro all came in. Jay, thank you. This was another birthday gift. I got 2 tiaras for my birthday. This is why I need a tiara spinner, guys. It's really, at this point. So yeah, so Lily Forrester, actually, kind of surprised that more people don't know who she is and aren't familiar with her, because in some of the circles that where I know her from, she's kind of a celebrity, and I guess that's probably because those are anarchist, agorist, activist circles where what she did was really heroic and dangerous, and still she's in some danger. So I guess maybe that's why. Really looking forward to introducing her to you. Because I think, you'll like her. I'm not sure where she is. Let me check in my messages and see. Okay, so I do have a message from her. I'm going to just respond to her really quick. I didn't send her the link. That's my problem. Invite. There we go. Now she has the link. Oops. I wonder if I sent it. Yes, I did send it to Hexadeck. Okay, good. All right, so now she has the link. I'm sure she'll be here soon. Okay, my mistake. Anyway, sorry, technical difficulties getting started. She's got the link now. She's going to be here any second. So I'm looking forward to sharing her story with you guys and to getting her introduced to Hex and Pulse. She's been an advocate for state-free money for a long time because she's, one of the few people who actually has experience with why it matters. So, yeah. Hexadeck, it says you're sitting in the green. You say you're sitting in the green room. That's interesting because I don't see you, and I should be able to see you if you're in the green room. Yeah. Oh, because you haven't hit enter. Got it. Okay. So yeah, if you're watching and you're not subscribed to the channel, the numbers suggest that several of you are not. Please subscribe and also like, because it really helps the algorithm to have the engagement. So hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah. PA Scratch Maker. I've only been in Hex for about 8 months now, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, I would think so. After about 8 months in, you would probably absolutely love it, right? Right? How could you not? Let me check on Lily. Okay. So she has seen it. Doesn't seem to be having any problems. Has everybody sacrificed, or everybody made up their mind about sacrificing? There's been a lot of discussion on Twitter for the last couple of days of people saying that sacrifice isn't going to be the best way to do it, to become or to get your pulse. So yeah. Okay, so since we're waiting for Lily, I guess I'll bring up Hexadeck to discuss his loose change project, which I think is really cool. If he's there, I don't see him. Head to stream. His mic is off. There. You ready to come on?
What?
Okay, you ready to come on?
Oh, sure. Let's do it.
Okay.
Set it up here.
Well, welcome.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. XTech16.
So, what is Loose Change? What is the Loose Change Project?
Okay. Kind of keep it short. Is a Loose Change Project something I actually started back in end of 2016 when I first got into crypto, which was Bitcoin. And I was an automotive detailer at the time. And so we would, when cars are traded in, we would find loose change, kind of like you find loose change in your couch, but we'd find loose change in cars. And so I got into the whole crypto thing. I won't mention the crypto that I got in, but I was like, oh, you can get 16 of these for a penny. And then it became 8 for a penny. Then it became 4. And then it became 2. And so the joke around the shop was just like, I'm kind of the scavenger. So I collect this loose change, and then I would take it and I'd invest it in crypto. Fast forward here 6 years later, I did it for 2.5 years, and I basically took that and leveraged it in crypto to a sizable amount. And then I came across, Hex. I mean, I've been following Richard Hart since 2016, and I made my Hex investment. Long story short, basically retired. So, I don't have to work a day in my life. But when Pulse Chain was going to launch, I thought about just, and these are fun experiments. I did this on a website. I thought about starting Loose Change 2.0. So over 6 months of collecting some coins, I basically said, hey, I'm going to restart the Loose Change project, just as a social media experiment, and put it out there for people. So I did it on Twitter. I'm HexTech16 on Twitter. But basically, I do this. First, get yourself a mayonnaise jar.
Sorry, Lily's in the studio. I think that you can hear me, Lily. We're just finishing up this, and then I'll bring you on, okay? Right, so yeah.
Then, collect some loose change. You have the opportunity to basically leverage dirty fiat into what I call clean crypto. So that's it. Thanks for the introduction. Love seeing you in Vegas, and continue on in your efforts.
Okay, so there's no app or something for people to invest their loose change?
It's a social experiment, but basically you can take what I call, your loose change or, money, because a lot of people think, well, and I've talked to Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, that type of thing. They're like, oh, well, I don't have enough money to invest. And my whole thing is start with what you have and where you're at. A lot of people think, oh, I'm in debt, this thing. Good example. I have a friend at the place of employment who would order through DoorDash or Uber Eats lunch. Spend $15 every day. And I'm like, bro, just like bring a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and some Ridge potato chips and like take that $15 and set it aside. And at the end of the month, you have $60. That can really start a sizable investment if you delay gratification and you continue to do that as a new habit. And financially, you can become independent. That's my story after 6 years.
All right, awesome. So it's interesting. When I first got into crypto, I was like, going around collecting all the money that I could too. And I did sell all the change I could into a change machine and then turn that into crypto. All right, so thank you for coming on. I've got Lily. Awesome to have you. Let's have you again at some point. Thanks for coming on. All right. Hey, Lily.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, so it's awesome to have you on. Thank you so much for coming on. I really wanted to, I think I've been trying to get you to schedule for a little while, and we just had some scheduling conflicts. So I kind of wanted, so a lot of the audience isn't really familiar with your story, and I'm hoping that you could give a brief overview, whatever you're comfortable sharing.
Well, what I'm mostly known for is the fact that I'm illegal in Mexico. And I came here like 5, almost 6 years ago. If you see something moving down here, it's my cat. She's refusing to take no for an answer today. But I came down here after I got arrested in northeastern United States, basically for cannabis-related crimes. I got arrested with my partner, my life partner at the time. And I mean, I kind of had a unique childhood because I was raised by agorists, and my mom was on the run most of my childhood. So like when I got arrested, it was just kind of natural to be like, well, I guess fuck this, I'm going south, basically. We had been watching Berwick's videos a lot. We kind of figured if we could go anywhere and just live, it was going to be Mexico. So that's what we did. And then I started blogging about it when Steam It came out. A few friends started getting on that first, and then I got on it finally after I realized it wasn't just a scam. And I told my daily life story and inspired a whole bunch of people to move to Acapulco. I threw Anarchaforco, which was like a fork of Anarchapulco. And then in the process of all of that, my life partner, for reasons I'm still kind of trying to figure out, but my house got shot up and my life partner was killed and my best friend was shot. And I basically fled and lost everything in the process. And that's kind of where everybody kind of got an idea of who the hell I was, at least in the community at large. She's cute. But it's been a process of putting my life back together. So I'm sorry, she's making me laugh. I have to put her out of view. It's been a process of putting my life back together, getting jobs, online jobs, because I can't get work the way okay, I can't get work the way most people that can. Like most people go through like Upwork and services like that, and I have to go through my network. I apologize for that. That's not usually a problem. The last 3 days she's been on me and she's taking a jumping again. But
my cat's always right here too. I don't know.
Yeah, I see that. So I mean, it's been a tough road of like, I mean, I kind of just wanted to give up after the murder, but the community, the anarchist community in general, is what kept me going because they raised a bunch of money for me to keep me out of trouble and kind of to restart my life again. And then all my jobs have come from that same anarchist community through Upwork and services, or not through Upwork and services like that, like most people, but just, hey, I need a job. It was like a solid year of people kind of thinking that I was kind of too traumatized to work. I think most people, when they're like traumatized and they're like, I want to work, they generally drop the ball after. But for me, work is like a source of comfort. So it was kind of like, it was a real hard battle to fight because really all I needed to do to be happy and okay was to work. And nobody was willing to give me a shot. Other than Kat Dean, who is now the producer of Anarchapulco, but at the time she just had her blog and she was paying me to write, just like $20 an article or something like that. But in Mexico, that was making it so I could survive. Then I learned how to do podcast editing and all of that, and I started my little crochet business in Mexico. I just finished this thing yesterday, and it's just been me sharing about my life and about the way that I live in the agorist way, because I kind of got frustrated when I became an anarchist. I like, okay, but now what? Like the world sucks, but what do we do about it? Because I mean, I don't think I have to tell you, but there are a lot of talking heads in the community, a lot of people that are like, oh my God, there's this big problem, we're screwed. When, I mean, yeah, there is a big problem, but like there is things that we can do about it. And that's kind of where my whole life has been a process of figuring out. I think she might be going in the heat. Maybe that's the problem. So people kind of gravitate to my story because I've been through so much. I've been to a lot of places at this point. I pretty much dabble in everything because I'm autistic and I have ADHD. I I have like 20 really big special interests that I'm kind of obsessed with, that I do a lot of work on every day, and jobs and stuff like that. And I think a lot of people resonate with that. And that's, in a nutshell, my story, with brief interruptions from baby cat.
Okay, so someone is asking, how long ago was it that you were arrested in the US?
2015, August 2015. So almost 6 years ago, I think.
Okay.
That's my math is right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so is some of the reason why you haven't been able to take normal jobs having to do with like the method of payment? And like,
yeah, I can't use a bank.
Yeah.
I do have some friends that allow me to use their PayPal accounts or whatever if people just can't pay me with crypto. But like, that is my biggest hurdle, being who I am, is how do you survive without a bank account? I mean, I got rid of my bank account actually before I ever went on the run back in 2013. I had the problem of like, I was just trying to cash like $100 paychecks, and they'd make me wait 3 to 5 days for it. And when I could go to Walmart and spend 10 of it and get the rest of it immediately, and I was like, all right, well, I guess I don't need a bank account anymore. And I found Bitcoin after that. So like, when we went on the run, it wasn't like, we just knew that we were going to have to survive off of crypto. And I don't think we would have done it if we didn't have something like crypto, because like, how else are you going to survive, especially like living as an American in Mexico? Like, I definitely have to find some creative solutions, but I've been managing.
Yeah. So what other kind of creative solutions do you have now?
I have a network of people that I depend on. And like, I mean, the network, that I love it, but I'm also like, a big part of me is kind of tired of having to make that, my friend's responsibility. I do, obviously compensate them for their help, but I basically have to have people like locals and otherwise that are willing to give me pesos for my cryptocurrency when I need it. I haven't really tried. I've considered trying to like pay my bills in it, but if there's one thing I've learned in Mexico, you don't really want the general public knowing that you're involved with cryptocurrency, even if you don't really have much. If you're out there talking about it, you can, become a target just like anywhere else. But Mexico, people are more likely to just kind of go for it. So I try not to pay for it unless I really trust the person. And most of the time they're like I try to pay my dentist in it, because I have like this thing on my teeth. I'm getting my teeth completely fixed finally, and I'm trying to pay my dentist in it. And he's like, I've watched some YouTube videos, but it seems intense.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot for someone, especially for people like in Mexico where a cash economy is still dominant. Yeah,
it is. I mean, some Mexicans are catching on, like especially in places like Guadalajara and Mexico City. And Puerto Vallarta is also like, I'm not a huge fan of the climate of Puerto Vallarta, or the fact that it's basically Florida and Mexico, but I do appreciate that there is somewhat of a crypto community there, and that there are places that you can just go and spend your crypto. And there are, I think, ATMs in Guadalajara. I know for sure there's ATMs in Mexico City. So, I mean, it's one of those things where like Mexicans love cash enough to where it's only a matter of time before they're all using crypto. But right now they have the government telling them it's illegal.
Yeah, sure. So a question for you. So because you're part of that Anarchapulco group, you must be familiar with Annabelle and Randy Hilarski.
A little bit. I've basically met them once, and they were at Anarchapulco this year. That's where I met them. But other than that, like, I don't know very much about them.
Okay. So I was curious if, because you were part of the same group, if you had heard about or if they had introduced you in any way to Hex.
I haven't heard about it, well, like through them. I have heard about it through my own means, but it's one of those things where basically I end up with the cryptocurrencies that I end up with because I'm paid in them, and then I hold them sometimes. And so far, nobody's paid me in Hex, so I don't have any Hex.
Okay. So what do you know about it?
Not really much of anything other than yeah, I don't really know much of anything about it.
Okay.
I remember hearing about it when it came out, and I remember reading into it a little bit and being confused, which sometimes happens with me. I can get a little bogged down in the jargon and stuff like that.
Sure, that makes sense. You're new on this channel. Welcome. Subscribe if you like the content. Hit like. It helps the algorithm. I'm really happy that you're here. Stick around. Okay, so Richard Hart, who is the founder of Hex, said that he thinks that crypto won't catch on until it's designed to make its users rich. And so that's what Hex was designed to do. So probably anything that you've heard about it has been like really negative, because early on a lot of people were saying it's a scam. What it is a time, like have you ever heard of like a time deposit or a CD from your bank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's that. It's a crypto time deposit where you lock your funds for a certain amount of time and then they earn interest.
Interesting. Sounds similar to like Smart Cash's Smart Rewards program. I do have experience with that.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with that. Is that, do you lock your funds for a certain period of time?
Yeah, the way there's actually like, they have a lot of different programs that they've built over the years that are pretty cool. One of them is Smart Rewards, and you need like a minimum of like 1,000 smart, and it's like, I don't remember how much right now, but you basically just hold that for more than a week, and after when the second week comes around, you start getting payments. After 4 weeks, those payments go up. Then beyond that, there's time-locked payments, so you can just like, and I sometimes get paid by them like this, so you get payments sent to you, but you can't spend it until a certain time. I think that's useful, and I've been using it as a tool to Smart Cash I just hold, so that way, like, whatever I'm not spending, I just send to myself and make it not spendable for a month. That way, if somebody were to come into my house and be like, hey, you need to send this to me, I can't. I physically can't, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal as far as I'm concerned. And then there's they have term rewards, which is like, I think they might have just changed it to 100,000, but you needed 1 million to start, and you just lock up your, it's like 1 to 3 years, if I remember correctly, and you get a certain amount of what you put in back. And then they also have Smart Retire, which is a 15-year program. So like, I like all of what they're doing. It's kind of replacing the whole retirement savings account scheme people are into.
That's interesting, because so with Hex, you can lock your funds for as little as 1 day and as long as 5,555 days, which is 15 years. So it's interesting. I wonder, where the parallels sort of were drawn with those. I think
it's one of those things where, like, when you just look at the way that the banks have been putting themselves, like, it's only natural for, I'm sure these aren't the only two cryptos that have things like this, where, like, it's only natural to kind of want to come up with something that people are going to recognize as similar to, like, the savings bond or the 401k or something like that. And that's what this stuff kind of sounds like to me, is the stuff that I was hearing about as a kid. You know, you lock your money up in a bond for 3 years or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that the way that most people who I know who have gotten into this have been thinking not only of themselves in the future, but of their kids and of, future life events that they're going to want to have funds for that they don't have access to now. So that's kind of where it was going. So someone says, you are going to love Hex, Lily. Definitely do your research, AJ Ripped City. So that's actually why I brought you on here, Lily. I want to give you some Hex. I know that we probably don't want to talk about amounts or anything like that online, but I think that maybe that will incentivize you to learn a little bit more about it. Will you let me give you some?
Yeah, I'll accept it and give it a try, because, like, the thing with cryptocurrency is, like, I'm not necessarily super prejudiced against projects, because, I mean, like, for every project out there, Bitcoin included, you have people calling it a scam. So
Sure.
like, I mean, what matters to me is whether or not it's like usable, and easy to use. Like one thing that comes to mind, like I like Pirate Cash and other, or Pirate.cash or whatever are in some regards. I accepted it, but it was kind of a pain for me to accept because it's not on any of the multi-wallets. It's also their mobile wallet. I couldn't get it to sync. I had to accept it on my computer, and now I'm just like, okay, now what do I do with this R? You know, like, so like that's, you know, I think it's important to actually try using coins before people really give like full opinions on them.
There's a few people in the comments saying that they'd like to donate as well. So you can use it with MetaMask. I was going to recommend that you use something called the Staker app. Just because it's just easy to use, and then they're building a fiat on-ramp for it as well, potentially. Actually, may even be functional since you're not in the US. So someone's asking a question, is there a single entity or small group of people that hold a dominant share of Hex? Yes, there is. The origin address holds over 50% of the circulating supply of Hex. That's by design, and it's because the origin address doesn't have any of that staked, which allows the interest rate to be higher for the remaining coins. Actually, if you look at all of the top 20 coins, more than 50% of the supply is held by a very small number of wallets. Is it an escrow? No, it's not an escrow. You're always in control of your funds, so you never give up admin keys. You are always in control of your admin keys. You can end your stake at any time, but there will be, there will be penalties for ending your stake early. So like you agree to stake your Hex for 15 years because you want this high interest rate, but then you want to end your stake after 5, well, you're going to be penalized because you were getting extra. So that's how it works.
It's interesting.
Yeah, just like the CD. Yeah. Staker app rocks. I agree. Staker app rocks. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have any more questions for me or anything else that or do you guys have questions for Lily that you'd like to talk about? Well, I mean, of course, where can we find you, get a hold of you, follow you on social media?
Okay, well, I'm at Lily Divine on Twitter. I'm not really, I should be on Twitter more, but I get easily distracted by life, as you found. I'm also on Facebook as Lily Forrester. My website is highlyfunctionalgrowth.com. I'm building essentially like a made-to-order crochet store there. It's not there yet, but I have essentially a freelance crochet business, and I take custom orders from people, make it. I've made enough things to where like I have a full store. I just have to take the time of putting it up, and then people can just order things, and it'll have like it'll be made within 6 weeks type of thing.
Oh, I saw a really pretty shirt that you made on your Instagram the other day.
Yeah, it was probably the one that I made for Amanda Roshwitz, which like I've gotten pretty confident, especially the last 6 months, because people just keep sending me like blurry photos of things they find on the internet, and I make them. So I can make anything. If there's people out there watching that want things made crochet, I can make anything. I'm working for Anarchapulco, and I will be speaking at Anarchapulco again next year. So that's a place to find me. If you're trying to find me in person, literally the only event I can go to is Anarchapulco. So yeah, I'll be there in March, and then otherwise I'm just online. I can also be found on Telegram and stuff, but I don't remember my handle on that. So
so that's probably not the place to reach you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I do talk a lot on Telegram. I just don't give out my Telegram handle a lot. People just end up finding me, or I have to find them first for some reason or another. So.
Is Hex layer 1 or layer 2? Hex is built on layer 1, on Ethereum's layer 1. And then also, this is something great for Lily to know. So anything that you have, all of your ERC20 tokens, not just hex, but hex included. If you're holding it in a self-custody wallet at the time of the Pulse chain fork, which is coming up, it's a fork of the state of Ethereum, you'll get a duplicate copy of all of your tokens on Pulse.
I'll have to have you explain that to me through message.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sure. What's the TPS of Hex? Just curious on how much the network can handle. I'm not sure what the TPS is, but the rate is actually, it's not actually meant to be like a unit, like a modus of exchange. I mean, it can be used that way, but I imagine it will be significantly faster once it's on Pulse, and I don't know the answer to it now. If anyone does, feel free to drop it right there. Can we do a quick overview about admin keys and the difference between cryptos that require a person to perform some special function versus cryptos that fully operate within written or locked code? Well, admin keys. I mean, I think that you really just did that overview. So cryptos that have admin keys require someone to act, right? It's not written into the code, and they could be potentially frozen or taken from you. Whereas when a fully decentralized project is written within the smart contract of a code, then there is no oversight. I think that's what you were looking for. I hope that's what you were looking for. I'm not sure. Do you have anything to say on that, Lily?
No, I mean, that's like my head gets kind of swimmy when things like that are talked about, because it's like, I think you're talking about having to have like certain keys to make things happen with certain cryptos. But like, I guess I might not have interacted with those cryptos, because crypto seems way less complicated than that to me.
Well, or you have and you just haven't realized it.
What was
or
that?
you have and you just haven't realized it.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I am fully aware that most of the technology that makes crypto work, most people, myself included, don't really understand how it works. Like, I know how to use it, but like.
Well, yeah, and stuff like layer 2 technologies, it's like they work, and they may allow transactions to happen much, much quicker and much cheaper, but you give up your admin keys. So like technically everything could be gone. Yeah, it's like the reason, it's like the layer 2 becomes the bank, and it eliminates the original purpose for cryptocurrency. Not that anyone really cares about that anymore.
What cryptos do that?
So, well, I mean, anytime you're talking about a layer 2, so Bitcoin on Lightning Network, that's a layer 2. You've given up your admin keys.
Okay, that makes sense. I don't like Bitcoin Lightning Network. That's probably why.
That's exactly why. Anytime you're interacting with layer 2 Ethereum, that's what's happening. Like anytime you're I don't know if it's every layer 2, but specifically with the layer 2 that people are using the most often, which is Polygon right now, you've given up your admin keys. And most people, when you transact in cryptocurrency, you're doing it by giving up your admin keys. So you're no longer doing a transaction peer to peer. You're doing a transaction with a company that holds custody of the funds in the interim.
Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to work.
Not how it's supposed to work. That is definitely not how it's supposed to work. And that is something that Pulse is trying to eliminate the need for. So instead of 13-second blocks on Ethereum, there are 3-second blocks on Pulse.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to send you some information and a link when we get off of the screen. And then when you have some time to set it up, you can send me back your wallet address, and then I'll send you what I want to send you to encourage you to learn a little bit more. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thank you.
So the next thing that I want to ask you, Lily, is will you build a bridge with me?
But
There we go. We built a bridge. All right. Someone said, AJ Rip City, you're smart, Lily. Do your research. We're making history with Richard Hex Pulse Chain. You're in the right place, the right community. Glad to have you here. I think you'll be a really big fan once you learn a little bit more about it. I'll send you some information. And then you can always feel free to reach out to me or anyone in the community with any questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for being here. Let me get to my let me get to my closer. Okay.